Joyce Wiggins from Monroe, the Monroe County Historical Society. We're located in Ohio. Our offices and museums are in Woodsfield, Ohio, and we're currently closed this summer because of COVID-19. Typically we'd have a summer session with kids, and we've often called it the American Girl and American Boy series. So this summer we're going to be presenting a series of videos for you using real live American girls and boys as well as the American Girl dolls to tell a story. Our videos will feature stories, music, crafts, among other things, some games and activities for a topic or on the theme. We'll also include pictures that you folks send in of your girls and their dolls or your boys and their activities that show parts of history. At the end of this video, we'll give you an email address if you wish to participate. We'll get in contact with you. June 14th is our day set aside for Flag Day. So with the help of some of our American girls and some real dolls and some real live kids, we're going to show you, make our first video, and we're going to call it Flag Day.
You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true under red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. But should all the contents be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag.
That presentation that you just heard was some Illinois American girls with their ukuleles singing and playing It's a Grand Old Flag. Our first doll that is featured is Kaya. Kaya's year is 1764. She lived in the northwest part of what is now the United States, and she belonged to the Nez Perce tribe, which was located in an area that we call Oregon today. There would have been no flag in her year of 1764 because the United States was not an independent country at that time. We did not gain our independence until 1776. I'm using a reproduction of a weaving that would have been a Nez Perce weaving that would have brought many hours of work and been treasured by anyone who had a weaving like that. Kaya and her friend Speaking Rain were learning to weave in the books that tell about Kaya's life. Kaya's pride and joy, however, was her Appaloosa mare, which she named High Steps. Next we have Felicity and Elizabeth, and their year was 1774. Felicity and Elizabeth lived in Virginia in a time when our country was in turmoil. A group of colonists were revolting against the King of England, who at that time had control of the 13 colonies. Felicity's parents were patriots, and Elizabeth's parents were loyal to the King of England. Despite their differences, the girls remained friends through it all. If we fast forward to 1977, we have a reproduction of the first official American flag. The flag was created to represent the United States as it was when the 13 colonies gained their independence in 1776. There are 13 stripes representing the first 13 colonies, and 13 stars on a field of blue also representing the first 13 colonies. Now we're going to take a trip west again, and we're going to meet a Spanish-American girl called Josefina. She lived in the Southwest in what became known as New Mexico because many people from Mexico immigrated to that part of our land. When Josefina saw U.S. soldiers, they would have been carrying a flag with 24 stars similar to this one, representing the 24 states in the United States in 1824. New Mexico, however, was not a state at that time. I'd like to tell you a little bit of flag history that I learned while I was looking up this timeline. After the first flag with 13 stripes and 13 stars was created, they continued to add a stripe and a star for each star or for each state that added the Union. And that was okay until 14 and 15 were added, and there was a star and a stripe for each state, Vermont and Kentucky. Then by 1818, there were 20 states, and that was just too many stripes. So the flag went back to 13 stripes representing the original 13 colonies, and then a star was added for each new state after that. Josefina, our Spanish-American girl, had some hardships in her young life. Her mother died when she was 8, and she lived with her father and 3 older sisters. She loves taking care of her mother's flowers and struggles to protect those flowers from the ornery family goats. Jumping ahead quite a bit, 80 years, we meet Samantha and Nellie in the year of 1904. The American flag at that time had 45 stars. Samantha was a young girl whose parents had died in a boating accident, and she lived with her grandmother in New York. She was so excited to meet a girl next door named Nellie, who was her own age. Nellie was working as a maid for the rich family that she lived with. These girls lived in a time when women could not vote and cars were being invented. It was an exciting time for little girls who were expected to be very prim and proper. Our flag, as we know it today, did not have 50 stars until 1960. The last 5 states to be added to the Union were Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, Alaska, and Hawaii. It has looked the same for the past 60 years. Representing our 2020 flag, you just saw some dolls that looked like today's children. Children in 2020 have really been challenged by not being in school for 3 months, not being able to be with their friends, their family members unable to go to work, possibly money being short, and by worrying about themselves or someone they love getting sick. The doll on the table that I have representing our current flag is Julie. She was from 1974. Julie lived in California during a time in history when our country was also divided over the war in Vietnam. President Nixon withdrew the United States troops in 1973, and the war in Vietnam ended in 1975. Now in 2020, while our nation is still struggling through a pandemic and working to end racial discrimination and economic struggles, our flag still stands for freedom. And we, as American girls and boys, continue to do our part to serve in whatever way we can. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for joining us today. If you wish to contribute photos of American Girl dolls or videos of birthday parties with dolls, our next segment is focused on birthday celebrations. We will be reading some actual selections from some of the birthday parties in the books from Addie, Mary Ellen, Samantha, Isabella, and Kirsten. If you have other dolls that you enjoyed and are celebrating their birthdays, you can send in pictures of those also. If you would like to email me photos or videos, my email is moncohisoc@att.net. And I'll put that up on the video at the end so you can see that. Please include your name and phone number so that I can contact you, as sometimes it's easier to text than email things. We hope you've enjoyed our presentation. Now let's close out by another rendition of She's a Grand Old Flag.
You're a grand old flag, you're a high flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true under red, white, and blue, where there